Hi there,
Hello,
Queen.
ladies.
Welcome to another episode of Doctor in Our Life. And it's still International Women's Month.
Yeah.
So happy International Women's Month. Did you watch our last episode on the theme for International Women's Day?
That's Gift again. Yeah.
If you haven't, go back to watch it. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome. I am Dr. A. This is Dr. Angie. And we own and run Doctor in Our Life. Now, this is a women's health podcast where we share the real, the raw, and the medical. Yes. So today we want to talk about something very interesting. But I'd first like to share a true life story someone sent to us. And I'm going to read it aloud to you. So you ready?
Yes.
All right. People think relationships fall apart because of lies, cheating, or distance. But for me, it's something more invisible. PCOS. Daniel and I were deliriously happy together, or so I thought, until the symptoms started. Menstrual irregularities, prolonged menstrual bleeds, and then came the hospital visits. Endless blood tests, hormone panels, ultrasounds. Every result seemed to lead to another round of tests, and the cost, don't even get me started. Supplements, medications, specialties, vitamins. This swallowed half my paycheck. I've caught myself thinking, is this what my 20s are supposed to feel like? A medical experiment? All I've ever wanted is normalcy, to feel feminine. I want to wake up and not worry if my chin hairs are visible. To go on a date without sneaking into the break room to check if the hairs are obvious. Society isn't helping matters either. Facial hair on a woman comes with lots of insults and ridicule. I see the stares, hear the whispers, even from women who should understand. It eats at me, makes me question whether Daniel sees me as less feminine, less beautiful. And then there's the weight. I exercise, I try to eat clean, but my body clings to fat like it's a lifeline. I scroll through social media, see women slipping effortlessly into dresses, and I think, why can't I just look normal? Even when Daniel tells me I'm beautiful, my brain answers back, no, you are not. Look at you. The mood swings make everything worse. One moment I'm laughing, the next I'm lashing out. He asks gently, what did I do? But the truth is, it's not him. It's me battling hormones that don't play fair. Had insomnia on top of that. Nights where I stare at the ceiling while they sleep peacefully. I wake up already exhausted, already snapping. Love starts to feel like a war zone, and PCOS is the enemy general. But nothing haunts me more than fertility, the quiet fear that my womb might betray me, that I might never hold a child of my own. Every time someone casually asks, so when are you two tying the knots and having kids? I swallow the lump in my throat and force a smile. Inside, I'm screaming, what if I can't? What if he leaves me because I can't? PCOS isn't just a medical condition. It's a thief. It steals time, money, peace of mind, and sometimes even love. It convinces you that you're too broken, too expensive, too difficult to love. That's a very sad story. And it kind of sums up everything about PCOS.
Yeah.
When was the first time you heard about Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome? That's PCOS.
To be fair, medical school.
Same here.
Yeah. Before then, I hadn't heard of PCOS. And the women that we now characterize as, having PCOS, I knew them as the characteristic Igbo women. Like, they would just say, oh, this woman, this person is a proper Igbo woman. So I didn't know that there was a medical terminology for the conditions that they had. And that continued I got into medical school.
The first time I saw a woman with, I suspect it would be PCOS, yes, but she had facial hair. It was serious. It's not the old few strand. It was a lot. I was still in medical school, but we had not rotated through gynecology posting, so I've not heard of PCOS. But I was just looking like, what is wrong with it? And then it was in a rural setting. I know that they used to associate them with witchcraft. And so I was a bit scared of anytime I go to the ward to collect patients. I don't like, but that's childish.
Yeah, but now you know better.
Yes, now I know better. And the thing about PCOS here is it affects more women than we think. I think medical school, I read that it affects 1 in 10 women.
But now it's 1 in 5.
Now 1 in 5. And I still think that it is still not properly studied. That time when we were working in the clinic, at least once a week, I am diagnosing a woman with PCOS because they are always coming with complaints. And the usual complaints, I've not seen my period for like 4 months. I've not had any activity. I don't know why my period is not coming. Are you on medications? Are you on No. I just noticed that. And when did this start? It started like 3 years ago. And I also noticed that I'm gaining weight. Then you see acne, you are saying, but I've tried different skincare products. It's not working.
Not working, yeah.
No, I don't think it's, the chemical pills. It's not working. So different things with women. And then they do the test. They do a hormone panel. They do a scan. And in fact, they also even do, they do HbA1c. Some of them have insulin resistance.
Yes, a lot of them actually.
And then you have to start telling them you have PCOS. They'll be like, hey, I've heard about PCOS, but
what does it really mean?
So do you mind telling us what PCOS is?
PCOS is a syndrome, which means that they are a constellation of signs occurring together. So the first is that she would have increased androgen. So this means that she would have features that are characteristic of men. So like increase in testosterone levels, or she would have hairs on her chin, her chest, the abdomen, extending to areas that are not supposed to be in women.
More for men.
Yes, and some of them even have deep voices. Yeah, so their voices will be hoarse. So this is a sign of, increased androgen. Then the second is that the other hormones that are seen in women, the progesterone and the estrogen, there will be an imbalance in those ones.
Even the luteinizing hormone.
Yes, and the FSH, of course. Hormone. Yeah, so basically her hormones, are imbalanced. Then the second is that when you do a scan, the follicles in her ovaries will be a lot more than they should be.
Yeah.
And so when we add this together with other things like mood disorders, so they'll be having anxiety, irritability, gaining so much weight, insulin resistance, which also makes sense because a lot of them now present with diabetes.
Yeah.
And then you also find out that they start having irregular periods because of the issues with their hormones. And then most women actually do not take it seriously until they get married or they want to start trying for children.
And the thing about PCOS is that it's the most common cause of infertility amongst women. Most people will not even know about it until, it's time for them to conceive.
Yeah.
Some women know they are not seeing their period, but it's not all of them.
But they don't care.
They don't care.
At that point.
Yes. They are happy as long as... Don't even me sometimes. I don't like my period. But you should actually take it serious.
Serious, yes.
So it's when they're not about to start having children. They're not like, oh, what's wrong with me? And all that. So early detection...
And going to the doctor at that point really helps.
It really helps.
It really helps.
And the thing that PCOS can be cured? There's no cure for PCOS, but it can be managed. And you with a better lifestyle, because management of most of these lifestyle conditions has to do more with improving your lifestyle and in a way some supplements and medications, but there is no cure for PCOS.
I've heard of these content creators talk about reversal of PCOS.
To be honest, there are ways that you can, I think we'll talk about it later,
okay,
but there are ways you can actually improve your hormones, balance your hormones naturally with your lifestyle, with diet, with exercise, with supplements, because there's certain supplements that have been shown to work for women with PCOS. And when they do that, it actually helps improve symptoms. So women who have not been seeing their period for months, once for example, if a woman had, because PCOS is really linked to weight gain. Some women have difficulty losing weight with PCOS. In fact, they are trying to starve themselves. They are starving, but still they are not losing the weight.
They're not losing weight.
So the kind of diet you have to eat as a woman who has PCOS is different from someone who does not have PCOS. A lady came to the clinic one time and I knew she had PCOS already with the way she already explained. In fact, funny thing is that she's not the only one. She has 3 sisters at home. They all have PCOS. So she stated her own case and she was a bit on the bigger side. She said she had tried to lose weight and all that. So I told her to, after the old normal hormonal panel, the test, the abdominals, I told her to also do an HbA1c. She came in the afternoon. So just do an HbA1c. Let's see. It was high. In fact, she was insulin resistant. She was in the it was high.
Oh,
So she was in the
okay.
pre-diabetic range. So that whole thing, she said she has also tried losing weight, she couldn't. And that thing about women with diabetes, PCOS is also linked to diabetes, is true. Because most women with PCOS that are pre-diabetic, by the time they get to age 40, 80% of them would have actually had full-blown type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And that makes me wonder that a lot of women that don't even know about PCOS and were suffering from it before, the word became more developed. They didn't just know
And
what was
people
wrong.
became more aware
Yes.
of it.
So a lot of people did not know then. Now they're just type 2 diabetes. It's things that have been happening from the past.
Now imagine if there were podcasts like this one
to talk
at that
about
point.
then
Yes.
some people can actually say, oh, these are the things doing me. Yeah, I can actually relate to some of these symptoms. So it's actually good we are doing this, putting our own. But yes, it's good. So what are the causes of PCOS? They say that the main cause of PCOS is unknown. But then it's been linked
Risk
to,
factors.
like, I don't always understand things that affect women like this. Unknown. But it's been actually familial factors actually has a lot. Family history. If one's mom had PCOS or sister. Yeah. Then also endocrine disruptors.
Yeah, all these plastics. We have we I don't know. There's a plastic endemicity going on. There are plastics everywhere. We use plastics to cook, to microwave, to store food. We drink from plastic containers. Even the kind of pots that we use now, a lot of changes that.
Do you guys know what endocrine disruptors are? They are chemicals. They can be man-made or even natural chemicals that disrupt our normal. Yeah, they disrupt our normal hormones in our body, and they are linked to hormonal imbalance, the PCOS we are dealing with, fibroids, even cancer,
dementia, Alzheimer's, a lot of things.
It's actually linked to it, and that's serious.
That's really sad because now I heard that the aluminum that we used to cook, that when it seeps into the food, that it creates changes.
Bad. Yes,
I actually didn't know that.
Even our skincare products, perfumes, the relaxers, even nail polish. Yes, everything. They contain some chemicals, because I was reading something online that had to do, I think that one, there's one phthalate, but that one is actually linked to fibroid.
Okay.
There is paraben. Paraben is found in preservatives. Preservatives, like the one they used to preserve our makeup, to preserve our food, is actually linked, is an hormonal disruptor.
Yeah.
So those kind of things, when it's not in,
I think there are parabens in lotions.
In lotions too. So that's why when you're going for products, go for the one that is paraben or phthalate free. Okay. So all those kind of things, endocrine disruptors, and even our lifestyle, because now it's so easy. No one wants to cook anymore. You just quickly grab fast food. The preservatives they use. You're buying packaged product that they are telling you the expiry date is next year. Is it magic that is in it's the preservatives, and most of them contain endocrine disruptors. So the westernized diet, oil that they use in frying your food, you people are so quick to take. Oil. Which oil are we supposed to be using now? Actually, the recommended, one of the LDS oil is olive oil. Avocado oil is good. But what I'm talking about is most of this. They reuse? Yes, they reuse oil. So it actually affects the smoking point of that oil. And it causes changes to the oil itself. So it disrupts the structure. So it's bad for our heart. It's linked to bad cholesterol. That bad cholesterol too could also be linked in a way. It could also affect us losing weight, affect PCOS and all that. So that one is there.
So going back to the story that you shared earlier, that the lady was talking about how she saw herself, she went into details about how it made her feel or how it makes her feel, whether she's pretty, whether she's feminine. And that there was this time when men on X, which is Twitter, they were saying that if they had a girlfriend who had PCOS, they were not going to marry her. And I think a lot of it has to do with the symptoms that the woman has. And also because they feel that she may not be able to conceive. Yeah. And then, the whole lot. It's that when I saw that story really once, it actually made me sad. Like, why now? But I think people can be more sensitive when they talk about these issues. And that
In fact, the story I even saw was that one guy said, "What is happening to all the girls in Nigeria? If you are not dealing with PCOS, you are dealing with one thing. If it's not PCOS, you are
They,
always
they
dealing."
even said also, they said
Eh,
fibroids, they said eye
that
problem.
you girls should go and get yourself
I
checked.
don't understand.
It's
We
not
didn't
funny, but
treat
I was like,
ourselves,
yeah.
right?
The thing about PCOS is not your fault. To be honest, it is not your fault. You know, there's some things that even no matter how endocrine disruptors are even in the air we breathe. To even
Even now that we are now polluting the air with chemicals,
it's in the air.
everybody is building house. Everybody is riding the latest exotic car. We are now doing
The
more of
exhaust,
refinery. A
everything.
lot of things are polluting the environment, and it's not supposed to be so. So we should not act surprised that these things are becoming more common, or they were even already there, but we just didn't know. And then
Yeah.
we'll now say unexplained infertility,
Yeah.
unexplained amenorrhea. All those things that if we had identified them earlier on, maybe we would have made progress.
Honestly, with
It
that.
is but no
And
one
one thing
cares.
also that I've seen, because I remember when I mean, I've met some people, some ladies when I was still, maybe doing my house job. They get diagnosed with PCOS. And you know what? I've actually, even people online come to complain, and I've also seen it happen myself, is when they go to the hospital, the doctor just tells them, "Oh, go and lose weight. You are big." Or give them COCPs, take it
Okay,
for
yeah,
28 days.
contraceptive
Yes, then
pills.
you see your period. Or if they know say they have insulin, use metformin and they go. No proper education.
Education.
I mean, sometimes you wait 3 months to have an appointment. You stay on the queue for like 6 hours before you see a doctor, only for the doctor to tell you, go and lose weight. Or when you are ready to have children, come back. Do you understand?
The funny thing is that I actually worked with a doctor like that.
It's
It
really,
was the most
yeah.
insensitive thing I've witnessed in my practice. The way he spoke to these patients, it really hurt me because I could see that they were desperate for a solution.
You know what's making me laugh? I remember there was this doctor. Is actually it's very the way he talks makes me laugh. Is very funny. I like him. But the lady came, found out she had PCOS for the first time. This lady is not fat. She's tall. He told me to calculate her BMI. Her BMI was like 25 points. Was it 8 or something? He just said, go and lose weight. In my mind, I always say, sir, but she's not. Everything. So just the weight. But I know that BMI is actually not the
Reflection of
true reflection
someone's.
of someone's weight or someone's physique or how healthy a person is. Just say, go and lose weight. I just kept quiet. I just like, I'm sorry, sis, but that was the only care she received. After waiting for us, you crack patient first, then
And
before
then
you
present.
present, and after the presentation, you've drained the patient, said, "Oh, sorry, the consultant," but just say, go and lose weight. I'm like, nah. So
I think that we need to
be
we,
more
we need to more sensitive
sensitive.
to these things because even for them to come to the hospital, it took them a lot
Yeah.
of convincing actually because they'll be like, what will I do? What are they going to do for me? Let me just live with this thing. But maybe a friend spoke to them or a sister or a colleague convinced them to come and then they come to the clinic and the doctor just tells them, go and lose weight.
Go and lose weight.
It's
When you're ready to
annoying
have children,
actually.
come back.
It's
Or take
I
COCs
don't
for
like
28
it.
days. After the I'm like, no, no.
I was telling you about this 15-year-old girl that had PCOS
At
and
15.
yes, she was 15 and she actually didn't know that she had PCOS, but she was always fainting. And I was worried, like, what's making you faint? You're not having seizures. You're not epileptic.
What's
You're
making her
well
faint?
fed. So why are you always fainting? It was later when she came to show me the medications that she was taking that I found out that she was, having PCOS and she had been given these drugs that were supposed to control her blood sugar. But she didn't understand that those medications could make her to experience hypoglycemia, which means the sugar in her body will now become very low. And I just sighed.
It's sad though. Do you know before
I just
we
sighed.
know that it's women in their 20s, women in their 30s that they get to know about this PCOS thing. But I still feel we need to reach more young girls because now all these diseases, sorry, it's not a disease, but all these conditions that we're talking about, is now affecting teenagers.
Yes.
And they don't know. They are so confused. I know teenagers like this, when they see things, they feel shame. They might not
And they
want
don't
to
even know
speak
who
up.
to speak
They
to.
might want to speak to a friend that one too is as even clueless as they are, and they just try different harmful, wrong practices. Even women that are educated, that are financially stable in their 20s, in their 30s, they still try harmful practices. They still don't even really know about PCOS. One thing I always do is I just try to understand, to read, to see, because every woman's body is different.
Yeah.
So the approach you give each woman is different. A woman who has PCOS, who is not, because it doesn't affect every woman who is of the big size. Some women are slim and they still
Even some women that have chin hairs,
Yeah.
chest hairs,
They're
they
still
don't have PCOS.
Exactly.
Some of them don't even have PCOS. So you just have to come to the hospital to be sure that whatever you're experiencing is PCOS. It could be stress. It could be like
Even the
your
missing
cortisol
periods
levels
might not even be PCOS.
Yes, it could be that your cortisol levels are high and then you're putting on weight. And someone had told you that, oh, you have PCOS, and then you relaxed and tell yourself that, oh, you have PCOS.
When I'm ready to have. See, every woman's body is different. Every woman's care is unique.
Yeah.
It's different. A woman who is maybe overweight, has insulin resistance, even with that, they start to have these dark patches on their neck, their skin fold.
Yeah.
Yes, those ones, it is not skincare products that solves it, because I noticed that some people be like, oh, I'm trying, and you see all these vendors on Instagram that are selling organic products. Look at my clients before.
They're toning the skin.
Now look at the now over acanthosis nigricans, something that is showing that there is something going on really inside your body. But because you give them skincare products, it goes. In fact, you are making it's more endocrine disruptors, because ain't no way.
Whatever they added,
Ain't no way.
They are definitely not good for you.
It's definitely not good. And then problem just keeps compounding. Keeps compounding. You start saying, I don't know what is wrong with me. I don't feel happy. I don't sleep well. I'm just always bloated. And all those kind of things. You are just so irritable. There are things that are going on that you are not even sure of. Things you've not even gone to check. And people are scared of going to the hospital. Some women don't like it. But I don't see hospital as a bad thing.
Are you sure it's not?
Maybe because I'm a doctor. But, sometimes you just have to go get yourself checked. Honestly, because it makes you have informed choices. It makes you...
But you know that now, like, there are telemedicine apps.
Yeah, you can always speak to a doctor online. You don't even need to come to the hospital. Don't go to ChatGPT. Don't Google your symptoms. But you can always type, just, talk to a doctor online, a verified site or a verified hospital that has telemedicine. So that one is there. Should we talk about financial implication when it comes to managing PCOS, and even the economic implication is a lot? Like that lady that you mentioned, the story that I talked about. The money she will spend on medications, on test alone. Yeah, that healthcare is quite expensive, even with NHIS or HMO. It still does not. It's expensive.
Another thing is HMOs. I don't know why they don't cater to reproductive health, except deliveries.
Are you serious?
Yes. If you want to do a hormone profile with your HMO, except you give them another reason for wanting to do that test, they won't cover it.
It's expensive, because I know when I tell patients that, do this test for, let's be sure what we are dealing with. It's expensive.
It's not just one test.
Yeah, it's not just one.
You're doing about 6 different tests.
Can you just tell me what to do?
They will tell you,
the most important
give it the
test.
most important. We have to check all of it. Yeah. And it's not just a one-off test. So you have to keep repeating the test to see if we're making some improvements, or if there is no change, or if there's even a decline. And with that, they're also checking for the insulin resistance thing. They're also checking their PCV, that's their blood levels, because when you're not seeing your period, and after some time you're placed on pills, and then you start seeing your period, some of them now develop prolonged menstruation, so they start bleeding. They now bleed continuously. It's actually a lot, and this is someone who is maybe in her 20s or in her teens dealing with this. You would also agree with me that most of them are in school or they are working. So they have to start taking a lot of sick leave. They'll miss their tests, miss their exams. If they are working, they'll have to explain to the manager that, oh, I'm dealing with this condition, which is, I think,
Which they don't,
invasive.
some
They
don't
don't need to.
really understand, or some might think
Yes.
that, oh, you're just
I
pretending.
know that we live in
and
a
all that.
judgmental society, of course. They'll not say, auntie, every time you're sick, are you the only one? Why are you always sick? So I really cannot imagine what it feels like to live with PCOS, but I imagine it to be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And
The day I told the
just
lady
need
at the
to.
clinic that, oh, she had PCOS, do you know why she was crying?
Why?
Her boyfriend would break up with her. That was why she was crying. I said, he will break
But
up
you
with
will
you.
not blame her now.
Bring your phone, let me break up with him.
Why
Let
you
me
won't
write
blame
out
her
my
now?
thoughts for you.
You will not blame her now.
Why?
Are you not seeing what these men are saying? That
Why
if
would you
have
be with a
PCOS,
man
they
that
will
will
not
break
marry
up with you for something that's clearly not your fault?
Me, I don't
And she was
know.
crying. I said, what happened? Don't worry now. We can, my husband, my boyfriend will break up. I say, he will break up with you. I said, let me help you type that breakup message. Because
Well, it's not. When it comes to like matters of the heart,
no, but
it's
it
not very
doesn't. Why
easy.
would you be with someone who you think will make you feel bad? It's something that you
But
should
again,
call your
it's
babe and
fear.
say,
He may
oh,
not
babe.
even break up with her when she eventually
No, for the
tells
fact
him.
that she actually has that premonition that my man might break up with me, I'm sure that something like that it would have been whispering something like that.
Something like that
It should
to
be your
her.
safe space. Someone you should be able to call and say, oh babe, this word is wrong. Oh, how can we fix this? What can we do? The fact that you're already crying, that shows
But
a red sea.
I actually think that we conclude too soon because this person Maraji, I'm sure you know her.
I faintly heard a PCOS story, but I was not really sure.
Do you know that before she made that post about PCOS, a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians did not know what PCOS was. And I think this was as far back as 2021. And when she was telling this story, she was pregnant or she had already given birth
Yeah,
to a child. So when someone tells me that they have PCOS and what they are scared of is
infertility.
conception, I'm like, have you done a research? They say, oh no, I just spoke to my friend. I said, no, we are not all gloom and doom. There are also very positive stories. Like you mentioned earlier, we can even use diet to manage,
Yes. Okay,
this
I'll share more
these
on that.
symptoms. And what we are dealing with is actually the hormones. So if you're able to get your hormones in order, you're
Yeah, if your
good.
hormones are balanced, of course.
You're good.
And the upside to it too is, with PCOS, we have high testosterone. I mean, the women with PCOS have high testosterone. So they could channel that energy in the gym. They're gonna lift weights. Yeah, because strength training, strength
Helps.
training really works. Helps to, build muscle, burn fat compared to, cardio when for PCOS. And of course, you have high testosterone. It's a plus. Yeah,
Me,
channeling that
I will
energy. No,
not say
it's
that
because
high
you're
testosterone
able.
is a
It's a
plus.
plus in the gym. I mean,
What if
that's the
their voices are
upside.
now
No. That I'm not saying. I'm just trying to make light of the situation, but it's a
okay?
plus in a way. Then, when it comes to trying to reverse it, the kind of diet that really works for women with PCOS is a high protein diet,
Okay.
a high protein, low complex carb diet. Because one, protein actually
You're saying a lot. High
high
protein,
protein, low
local.
complex carb. Meaning that if you're a woman trying to lose weight with PCOS, you would have probably tried so many diets that did not work. You would have tried
Yeah.
to starve yourself. You would have done intermittent fasting that are not even medically backed. You can fast for 20 hours, then you eat just one small food
What of
instead.
this keto diet? Does it work?
Keto, in a way, is eating more of, eating no carbs.
Okay.
But for how long do you
How
want to do
long? Yeah,
that?
you need the energy actually.
How long do you want to? It's not sustainable. So
Yeah.
that's why people try it, they sleep, and they go back. In fact, the weight they will gain will be worse than the one
Than
they
what
have.
they had
Yes.
in the beginning.
So
Okay.
people would have tried so many things and they did not see results. But I found out over time that when you eat a high protein diet, high protein doesn't mean no carbs at all, but protein makes up the bulk of your meal. You are eating minimum of 30 grams of protein.
Are we going to measure in all the food that we
Yeah, you
eat?
can track your food though. And it's
Eh.
not, yes, you can
So
always
what if
have a
you're
food
cooking
scale.
for like a family or something? Are you going to keep measuring
You
and
have to
measuring?
be intentional when it comes to your
To
own
you,
diet.
okay.
I will say you have to be intentional when you cook for people. You also know that you are reducing the oil. you can always cook your own food. You've been cooking for people this way. Did it work? It didn't work for you. So you might as well do something different for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. So you do a high protein diet. Low complex carb means you're dealing more with food that have we have
simple sugars.
Yes, we are removing simple sugars,
Okay.
or the white bread. Even if at all you would take it, it would be portioned.
Sparingly.
Yes.
Okay.
White rice, portioned. Eat more foods. Low complex carbs are food like ofada rice, like sweet potatoes,
Okay.
like yam.
Is it like every kind of yam?
I mean,
Or,
kind of yam.
there's this water yam that my
Water
dad
yam
likes.
is even very good. It's even good for blood sugar. Yes. But
Okay.
even with that, self-portion control is still better.
still
Eating
very
more of
okay.
vegetables, fiber, and if you're a woman with PCOS and you're also dealing with insulin resistance, of course, carbohydrates should not be the bulk of your meals. And even if at all you take maybe fruits, it should be portioned, and you should always pair them with, protein or fat like peanut butter, like eggs, like fish, avocado. You have to eat smart because one, your carbs will not work. Carbs will just lead to more cravings. You're going to be hungry faster compared to protein. Protein actually has better impact on our blood sugar, better impact on our hormones, and even
and it keeps you full.
Yes, it keeps you full. Yes,
time.
reduces cravings too, because women with PCOS deal with a lot of cravings. They are always constantly bloated. So when they do that kind of diet, and even if you want to add intermittent fasting, save one. Start with what you can tolerate. 10-hour fast, 12-hour fast. That's
which is basically
8 a.m.
like overnight.
Yes.
Overnight fasting.
It helps improve your insulin sensitivity too, not like you are eating at every point. So once you actually had more protein, it actually helps with cravings. One thing that I've actually seen, one thing I actually really admire about you is how you actually take your time to actually interact with patients, especially women in the when we see, with all this PCOS and all these conditions, that we know that if they go outside somewhere else, they may not get that. You may not get quality information. I actually admire that about you because I know you do that a lot.
Thank you.
So one thing that I know,
but you know more of the nutrition.
Yeah, because it's very important. If your diet is wrong, everything else is wrong. Nothing works.
Very true.
So if you're a lady, because I've even seen that once you even take proper care of your diet, you really may not need medications like that. So because I've seen women, because if you are trying to use, COCPs and all that, and you're not addressing the root cause, you are not addressing your lifestyle. It might work, but you will still be back to square one.
Sometimes once they stop that medication, the
whole
thing comes back.
It comes back, the whole symptoms again. Back. So I've noticed patients, because I'll tell patients that I see that, first we address the symptoms one by one. I have to first, tell them it's not your fault and all that. Then we start with, what kind of foods do you eat? Trust me, their diet is never great. Most people's diet.
Especially women like us who are working.
Yeah, Coke. Fast.
Oh my goodness.
Coke starts.
All the snacks.
Yeah.
The burgers. Everything. I don't even want to go into that.
Yeah, I guess that one.
It's a lot.
So we have to really talk about our diet, which is very important. So when you fix your diet, I really believe you fixed your life. That one is very important. Then the whole high protein diet I shared with you. Then there is something, we talk about supplements.
Yes.
There are supplements women too should take. I always advise you take folic acid for a start. You take zinc because zinc also helps balance the hormones. Then there are myo-inositol, the inositol supplements that women take, because that one also helps to balance your hormones. It might even, berberine also works. It also helps with the blood sugar. So there are some women that might not even need metformin and all that. Then there is this one, spearmint tea. Also really works because it helps with reducing the excess androgen, those women with facial hair. And, so it really works for them.
And it's available in the supermarkets around.
Yeah, it's still spearmint tea, but some people say, it's not readily available in supermarkets. I see some people, sell it online, even the myo-inositol, because I've had someone say, it's quite difficult to see, but she said
myo-inositol is available in pharmacies. Like most pharmacies actually have them.
Yeah,
because a lot of people now have PCOS. And
people are now getting it.
Yes, people are getting it.
She said the day she started using it, she said she has never felt so good, that she feels so good now. Her period is regular, and she's also taking care of her diet. Like, you'll come back, you will even be happy. But if you're just you're not taking proper care of your health, you're not really going to see.
Another issue I have with Another issue I have with PCOS and the way people perceive it is because it's been demonized. So much so that if a woman suspects that she may be having PCOS, she would refuse to go to the hospital because she does not want to get that diagnosis. But she forgets that if she doesn't have that diagnosis, she cannot even start doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to address this, because if you're Googling your symptoms and talking to all the friends and you refuse to go to the hospital where you would actually be told whether you have PCOS or not, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah.
Because again, with this issue with losing weight or gaining weight could even be familial. There are
Yeah.
some people that in their families, they tend to put on a lot of weight. So you may not even be having PCOS. There are some people that it could be their lifestyle, like we just discussed. You're eating a lot of junk food and, you know,
Yeah.
you're putting on weight because of that and not because you have PCOS. Let's even talk about the hairs. Some people are naturally hairy in their family, some women. So even if you go to the doctor, you'll be told the same thing that, oh, we've done all the tests and you don't have PCOS. Please go and live your life.
Yeah.
So when you now meet a man and he's saying, it's like this one has PCOS, you're talking from a place of information. Like
Yeah.
you know that you don't have it. But even if you have it, you know that there are ways of managing it. It's not a death sentence or
And it does not mean
I don't
you
understand.
always be infertile. Like people with, there are a lot
There
of
are
women
many
with
people with PCOS
who
who
are
are
giving birth to
giving
children.
some of them are giving birth every year. As far as I'm concerned, I've seen so many women with PCOS that if they do not tell you that they have PCOS, you would
You
not
don't know.
know.
Do you know that people that don't even know they themselves have PCOS? Maybe they just go, oh, let me just do an hormonal profile. They
And
just see
check.
their hormones are imbalanced. Because I know I had a friend, she had, because she had been dealing with skin acne
Okay.
for a long time. She has spent close to $1 million on skincare products, chemical pills. It was just getting worse. I told her, I said, this thing might be hormonal. Go and do an hormonal panel first. Let's see. She said, I rebuke it. I did this. She did it. Imbalanced like mad. Highly imbalanced. I told her that this thing is most likely PCOS.
And she had to
She
like
said,
do the
oh, I
other
rebuke
test,
it. I
of
said, you know
course.
what we will just do? All the skincare products, post it for a while because she has used every top brand that I know. Post it for a while. First, take care of yourself. Start from inside out. What you eat, because and she's very busy, so she doesn't really eat good junk because of her
Yeah.
work. Start with what you eat. Her skin cleared up.
Wow.
It did clear up. Our hormones are balanced now, and it took about 3 months. Something you've been dealing for the past year.
For years.
So when things like this happen, it's sometimes you just say you're stressed. It's go and get yourself checked. It's better you know that, oh, I've gotten myself checked and I'm fine, than for you to
Yeah.
be living in ignorance.
Ignorance. And again, the fact that you have chin hairs or facial hairs does not make you less of a woman. You are still a woman, a full woman. You I don't like, sometimes I wonder why we decide to focus on what people are saying, the negative things
And
that they are
it
saying,
affects them,
and then
because I
we
see
keep
some women
ruminating on
online.
them.
Some women no longer share, because this particular lady, I don't really know her name. She's a chef, but she has a lot of facial hairs. And she shares her story. She will share her facial hairs. And people will say, no, you're encouraging me, you're inspiring me. That's because there are people who could relate to her. And they were
Yeah.
so shy, they've been, I don't know, their self-esteem, they've been mocked and all that. But now when you see
Humiliated.
someone actually shy to say, I didn't cause this thing is a syndrome and this is how I'm managing it, it builds their confidence.
True.
One thing I really want to do is, I know that, in fact, it's not just women in their 20s or 30s. There are ladies young girls in secondary schools who
Yeah,
are also
teenagers.
dealing with these things. They don't know what is wrong. Some might not even be able to watch this podcast, maybe because they don't have phones. If we could actually have an outreach where we go to them, meet them, even offer maybe free screening for them, it will really be
To
good. What do you
really
think
help.
about that?
Yeah, I think we should actually do that. We can do it for international.
We can do it for international women's month.
We can
We'll
actually do
solicit
that.
for funds.
And again, the issue with like teenagers is because
Yeah.
at that point we already know that their cycle may not be regular.
Yeah.
So when it becomes a problem, they may not go to the hospital because, oh, you just started seeing your period, so we are not expecting it to be regular. Not knowing that that window has passed, and now it's a
yeah,
problem.
Because for me, I didn't, when I first started my period, I didn't see my period for like 4 months. Then I saw it again. I remember the first time I saw it, I told my mom went to tell my dad. My daddy was happy. They keep chicken. For 4 months, I did not see it. Mommy was not worried. And now, the day I now saw it, like after 4 months, she told my dad again. My dad was, I was like, why are you telling him? Then I didn't see it again for another 4 months. I was quite happy, like, but later I balanced. I think sometimes it happens for some women in the first 2 years.
No, that's actually how it happens.
But not for everyone, no. I had a friend that, since she started at 10 years old, every month she
every month.
I swear. Every month till now.
Oh, okay.
So I think for different people, but I know.
But most people share, because the pituitary gland, and the axis that connects it to the ovaries and all, they are still maturing. So when you start having your periods, actually for a couple of months, it won't be regular.
Yeah. I actually really enjoy talking about this episode, and I really want us to go through with that project that we talked about. How will we now do corporate soliciting for funds?
Let's think about that. Let's sleep on it.
No problem. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode. I hope you learned a lot. It's not really your fault you've got PCOS, okay, and you can manage it effectively.
And again, sorry, before I cut you short, there are some moms that have daughters with PCOS.
Yeah.
Make sure they watch this video.
Of course you should. Thank you. Remain your favorite. Thank you. And have a very beautiful week. Keep being amazing. How do we used to say our stuff? Doctor your life. Stay fabulous. Stay healthy. And doctor your life.
And keep doctoring your life.
Yes. Bye bye.
Catch you on our next episode. Bye.